I well remember shortly after arriving in Beijing in 2011 visiting the Olympic Constructional Exhibition Hall, located in the Olympic Park, showing off the story of the building of the Olympic Village. In true Chinese style, there was a plethora of models on display everywhere, as well as items such as jackets and helmets worn by the construction workers, and endless photographs, including just about anything and everything you could possibly want to know about the subject. It was brilliant. But all that has changed. Now, the floor area of the exhibition has been halved, with most of the beautiful models of the individual stadiums removed. Instead, the space has been taken up by a new earthquake and building Science Education Exhibition Hall. The building itself has been renamed the Beijing Planning Exhibition Hall. China, of course, has seen its fair share of death and destruction from earthquakes over the centuries. After all, much of the country sits on the junctions of several tectonic plates, including the Pacific, the Eurasian, and the Indian Ocean plates, with at least 495 faults crisscrossing its terrain. In fact, scientists have determined that at least 130 of these fault lines lie beneath major cities, including Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, albeit that 80 of them are currently inactive. And this is probably why, perhaps late in the day some might argue, an education hall has been created to educate the masses what to do in the event of an earthquake. Not that the masses appear to be crowding into this exhibition. It was only a few years ago, of course, that Beijing's Olympic chiefs were assuring foreigners planning to visit China for the August 2008 Games that the country was safe, despite a magnitude 8 earthquake that killed over 69,000 people in Sichuan province 3 months earlier. The Beijing Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games said visitors should not be concerned about natural disasters, since earthquakes had been taken into account when building the 31 venues in Beijing. As of May 2016, China has been improving its seismic early warning system to issue alerts 5 to 10 seconds after tremors occur, and fast early warning systems are being tried out in Beijing, Sichuan, and Guangdong, with more monitoring stations. China's National Earthquake Monitoring Network, composed of 32 regional monitoring centers and 1,098 observation stations, leads the world, according to Chinese scientists. But although these centers can monitor quakes as slight as magnitude 1, imminent quakes within 3 months can hardly be forecast at all, they admit. On show is an aerial picture of the Sichuan quake area on May 12, 2008. Over 69,000 people were killed, 374,000 were injured, and 18,000 were reported missing. Though the overall exhibition is quite small, there are some interesting photos of the aftermath of some of the quakes, such as at Tangshan, Hebei province, after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake which occurred on July 28, 1976. Over 242,000 people were killed and 164,000 were seriously injured. Although Beijing has only suffered minor earthquakes in recent years, the 7.8 magnitude quake also wrecked tens of thousands of buildings in the capital 140 kilometers away. Now, scientists are saying there's a high likelihood of an earthquake occurring in Tianjin, located only 100 kilometers from Beijing. Tianjin lies on top of the Tangshan-Hejian-Cexian fault that has been the site of 15 devastating earthquakes in the past 1,000 years, including the 1976 Tangshan quake. To assess future seismic hazards, scientists from the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, and the Chinese Earthquake Administration have reconstructed for the first time a spatial pattern of major earthquakes along the fault. Their reconstruction is based on a detailed analysis of the available instrumental records in the past few decades, historical records in the past 4,000 years, and prehistorical records tracing back nearly 11,000 years. A surprising finding was the existence of a 160-kilometer seismic gap centered at Tianjin, which has not been ruptured by any major earthquake for more than 8,400 years. As the average earthquake cycle is about 8,700 years, the authors suggest that the 160-kilometer Tianjin fault segment, capable of generating a devastating earthquake similar to the 1976 Tangshan earthquake, may be the next to rupture. Not surprising, therefore, that an education center showing people what to do in the event of an earthquake is well overdue. As you enter this new exhibition, you can experience what it feels like to be in an earthquake. 16 times a day, you have the opportunity to experience the simulation of seismic waves at 3 intensities. An advisory notice says people with heart disease, hypertension, anemia, or cervical spondylosis, pregnant women, and drunken people should not take part in. Presumably, I'm guessing, if you're drunk you wouldn't know if there was anything untoward. There are Q&A boards on display, mainly about getting under a table as soon as you can. And just in case you wondered what all the fuss was about, there were also plenty of timelines giving details about earthquakes in Beijing itself. As well as the Experience House, there is also a Power of Nature 270-degree movie experience showing the real power of a variety of natural disasters, 8 times a day. A Rainstorm Experience House, twice a day, to let you experience a real typhoon. You're asked to place the raincoat after it into the dressing room, which makes it sound like you're going to get very wet. And a 4D movie hall, showing a movie about earthquakes, lasting about 10 minutes. It will show you the phenomena of pre-seismic, co-seismic, and post-seismic respectively, it says, before adding somewhat alarmingly, if you have any discomfort during the movie, please put your hands up. But I notice it also asks you to please return the 3D glasses to the staff after the movie, making me wonder whatever happened to the 4th dimension.